Good afternoon. Welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. Today on Eddie. Eddie's from the Hippie Death Cult. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good, good. Like a lot of
Yeah.
bands I've been stumbling across, and I recommend just keep growing and growing and growing. I've come across you guys in the past couple of months, mostly during COVID. It's most things have happened, and I've
Cool.
been digging you a lot, and I want to have more people hear you, check you out. So I
I
thought I'd have you
appreciate that.
on. You guys were a foursome, and then you kind of whittled down to a power threesome.
Yeah. Um, yeah, started out I've been, trying to get this band going for years and years and it's been kind of fluid the entire time. But yeah, the lineup that kind of initially went out into the world, it was the four of us. We had all just met, kind of getting to know each other as we were doing it, and it all happened really fast. But yeah, as it turned out, things didn't work out with us and our former singer, and it, like came to a head as our second record was coming out, which was kind of bad timing. But we just continued on, and Laura, our bass player, my wife, she took over on vocals. We did a tour like right after that second record came out, um, and people seemed to dig it, so we've just been going
Yeah,
with that. Yeah,
that's interesting. Now, had she sung before?
no, she just kind of got jolted into it.
I love you so you
Um,
to try. You're like,
yeah, it was really insane. Like,
she's good.
we
It's
had booked
perfect.
these
It's really good.
tours, and it was something I think that, like, deep down, she always wanted to try and do. Um, but she really took it seriously, like, and had to all of a sudden. So she was working with like a couple vocal instructors and like having to memorize all the songs, plus learn how to sing and play bass at the same time, and everything in such a short amount of time. And has really been kind of learning in front of everybody on
Yeah,
these tours that we've been doing. But I've been really proud of her. She's been doing an amazing job and getting better and better every show, and it's been really cool.
well, yeah, that's actually a real lot because I didn't know that. Because obviously, there's band changes and lineups, especially when you're starting out. So that always
Sure.
happens. So like, but to know that she kind of came in not really as the singer or as a singer
Yeah.
prior, and be singing and playing bass and doing both
Yeah.
very well. And she's a good singer, a
Yeah.
good bass player. But to do them all together right away at the same time,
It's
and
insane.
you watch the
Yeah.
video, she looks like she's been like she's very comfortable. Or she comes
Fantastic.
across that she could just jump in and do that because singing and bass is and anything singing and
Yeah.
guitar is really hard. And she
Yeah.
performs like she's been performing at it for years, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and I dig her vocals, so I like it.
It's really me too. I think she's got an amazing voice. And I think like throwing her out, in front of people and kind of forcing it so quickly is what's helped her along the way. I mean, she definitely didn't feel natural right off the bat with it, but doing a tour or two will help. And yeah, she's getting more and more excited about it, more into it, and also developing, songwriting and all that stuff too, which is another new thing for her.
Wow,
But she's also really good at it, and it's been really cool. Yeah.
that's awesome. I mean, because you started what was it 2000 like 17? So you're a relatively new
Yeah.
band, like
Yeah. I
recording.
mean, probably, yeah. I think it was 2018 that we started recording and playing out, but I was like getting the band together in 2017. Yeah.
At this level, being a new band, and then obviously being a Portland band in that area, what is it like? Because then right once you guys got going, pretty much, COVID happened, and
Yeah.
you're still being you're still getting a lot of music out. Still, it doesn't feel like if you look at your schedule, what you guys have done, it doesn't look like you guys were affected, to some point.
I mean, we tried to make the best of it, but yeah, like pretty much as we started getting out there, I mean, like Portland has been really supportive to us
Mhm.
from the beginning. The scene here is really great. So getting in, like opening for some of the local bands that have more of a following in the beginning was helpful. And then it got us to the point where we were headlining shows and starting to get offers to play, Psycho Las Vegas and tour offers and things like that. Like that was happening for 2020 as the pandemic hit for us. That was right when our momentum was starting to
Yeah,
shoot forward. And um yeah, so that kind of put a halt on things, We were ready to start working on the next record right around that time. Um but we all had to, be in lockdown and whatnot for I think it was a couple months or something before we could even get together and start
yeah,
working on that. Um, and then during that, we didn't really see our old singer during the pandemic pretty much the whole time. He was working at home. We were
yeah.
sending him stuff and it was doing it like that. Um, And then yeah, and then as soon as we were able to play, like pretty much we were pushing it, we were pushing it. And the first show, or one of the, I think it was, yeah, the first show out of the pandemic was, we had a CD or a record release show for that album, and
Yeah.
it was supposed to be at the Star Theater here in town. We had like two sold out nights booked, and it was during the period where they were allowing shows, but only up to like say 200 people or whatever the limit was.
Yeah.
And then the week of the show, they decided. Uh, I guess the numbers were spiking, so they were, no more shows, or they brought it down to 50 or 20 people or something. So they canceled our shows, and we ended up playing on the rooftop of our rehearsal building.
I came across that
Um,
video.
yeah, and so that was really cool, and that was kind of we were like, let's just do this. People showed up, and everybody had space to be like socially distant on the streets and
Yeah.
on the bridge and whatever, and so that was really fun. And then yeah, from there we started touring and going nuts. Really, this last year we've been touring like crazy. Um,
That's well,
yeah,
step back a little bit. So that playing on the building thing, I saw that
yeah,
small clip of it. Like I don't know if it was like I don't know if there's more to it. It looked like it was like a lot of different personal footage of it, like looking
sure,
down, like a sniper view,
yeah,
and then like a couple things.
totally, yeah.
Um, is there more footage of that out there? Like, did
There
somebody
is,
else do it?
yeah. We had somebody filming like an Instagram live.
Yep.
So the whole entire set is I think it's on our YouTube channel still. Um, so it starts with her up on the bridge from that
Yep.
perspective, and then she walks down, and then she's like on the stage with us and
Yep.
everything. And
Okay. Yeah,
um,
that's what I saw. Yep.
yeah,
How
so
was the
there's like
sound on there for that?
it was actually pretty good. We had a pretty legit PA system. The PA system we had in our rehearsal room was like it had the full on subs and four mains, and like we had it blasting. And the cops drove by a couple times. Nobody gave us any trouble.
I'm
It
surprised.
was fine. Yeah, me too. But
I
it,
mean,
it, it was cool. Yeah,
the Beatles got a hard time. Rooftop.
right.
You too.
Totally.
And bands do
Yeah,
rooftop
yeah,
concerts usually get like two
yeah.
songs and they're done, and they get
Yeah,
press. Well,
sure.
to me, it feels like because it looks like obviously you get the speakers going out for everybody, but I was saying for you guys
Yeah,
inside because it feels like you're like in like a little cement pond for sound where
sure.
everything's just
Right.
bouncing off of it. I just imagine that would be like a sonic nightmare for you guys to
Oh
be
yeah.
trapped
It
in that
always,
little.
yeah, it always is on any stage we're on. It's always a sonic nightmare, unless because we haven't got to we have done some shows where we had our own sound guy, but every night you're relying on a different person, and
Well,
but
I just mean like the
yeah,
roof itself. You are
we're
literally
used to it.
surrounded
Yeah,
by concrete.
yeah, yeah.
That's
It was,
awesome.
I can't remember exactly what it sounded like, but I bet it wasn't very good for us on there. But yeah, we're
That's all I can
used
think
to
of.
it, we're used to it. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of good video, got a lot of good live video out there on YouTube to check you guys out. Maybe a new
Cool.
single out or newish. I
Yeah.
dig that a lot. That's good. That's a good sound.
Thank
Is
you.
that looking forward to your new? That's a single, but not the album. What are we looking at now with that? With music coming out?
So yeah, it's almost ready. We're working really hard on it right now. We're gonna like cease from touring for a little while, and then like it's really a priority to get this thing done. That was one of the songs we went in and recorded a batch of songs before the US tour that we did. And I was like, we got to at least put one new song out with Laura singing and everything, So we kind of really pushed to just
Hmm.
finish that one and do a mix and put it out. Um, but the new album is written. We're just like working out like the final kind of things, like all the little details, and then we're gonna go in and record that soon. I'm hoping it comes out by summer, maybe fall at the latest, because once you hand it into the label, then there's like a whole process of waiting for the vinyl to get made
Yeah.
and the manufacturing and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be out next year for sure. Yeah,
So how does it go for you for touring? Because you're being in a band, you're a pretty new band. The
sure.
fact you got label support and you're touring within like 2 years
Yeah.
is a pretty crazy thing.
Kind of just, yeah, we're kind of just going for it, like um how it's gone for us is really, especially the type of band we are, is just like word of mouth and getting in front of people and playing, and we've managed to build like a really great audience here in Portland that's really supportive of us, and we're trying to just hit other markets as much as we can to do the same type of thing everywhere else we can and see what sticks, and where people like us or whatever. So we're kind of just taking the risk and the financial risk and everything and just kind of doing it, you know?
How is it working out for
Um,
you when you go? Are you going out with like other bands that are similar that have are established first times, or are you guys just going into markets you've never been, kind of putting it out
oh,
there?
both, yeah. We did a tour with Sasquatch, who's been around for 20
Yep,
something years, in the
yep.
States here. That was really cool. And then in Europe, we were kind of on our own, but we got lucky enough to play. I think we played like 6 or 7 different festivals
Wow.
with a ton of bigger bands, and it was playing in front of a full audience every night. So we definitely got in front of a lot of people this year, thanks to those type of opportunities. And then also in the States, we played Psycho Las Vegas and Ripple Fest and all these cool festivals that got us in front of a lot of people, which was really cool, and that was kind of the goal. And then there's all the just the bar gigs in between and the Monday, Tuesday nights and whatever, just doing it. Um, but yeah,
That's
it's been working
insane.
out.
It's insane
Yeah.
because I didn't realize how, like, when I first heard you, I was like, oh, wow, you got albums out. I'm thinking, the more I learned about you, I'm like, God, you guys been for a short period of time to have such a big audience, you know, and to be out there
But been
and
pushing
albums.
hard. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. The
Yeah.
videos are good. Yeah, yeah, got some good videos. They're very, high quality. They're done well. They're kind of definitely feel the music, you know.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, any videos planned coming out too with the single? Well, no, the single actually has, there's a live one out. Is there a video for it?
Yeah, we put just a live recording out of it.
Right.
That like from the end of that was the end of that US tour. We did a
Okay.
homecoming show in Portland and filmed the whole thing. So the whole thing might come out at some point, but we released that song, and it's got like a board mix and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it
Um,
sounds good. I
but
don't know
yeah,
if you, I missed, I'm sorry, I
yeah.
don't know if I
So
missed the
yeah, I
concept
mixed it.
video.
I was able to mix it, yeah. Like so I got like I brought like my computer and hooked it up to the board so I got all the tracks and I could mix it in, and so I did all that later, and if I have time I'll do the whole thing at some point. It's nice to have like a nicer quality live thing out there. Um but
Definitely.
yeah, I
I think
think yeah,
on your website it would be great. Like a digital download, even just for yourself, for
yeah,
$5 or $10
totally.
to fan, see the live
Sure.
thing. Like between your
Yeah,
album coming out, there'd be a nice little
sure.
cash
That's
thing
not a
for you
bad
already done the
idea.
work.
Yeah, it's true. It's not a bad idea. Put it out on Bandcamp or something. Um, yeah, and I think the plan with the next album is to like do a lot of videos and feature each song as a little more. It's something we always wanted to do. Um, but I'm generally the one that's been doing all of that stuff. So I'm like filming and editing and directing or whatever, all the videos, and it's just getting to be a little much for me to do and handle. Like especially if we're touring and doing things. So we're gonna have more help. It's just also been like a financial thing. We just also haven't had the money to have
Right.
people
But it's funny if you
help. So
watch
I
a
just
video and being a stoner band style doom type, everyone puts sounds like it's chill. I'm like you're a guitar player, just back that you're playing, they're like easy street. It looks like you're just kind of like getting up, waking up. You know what I mean? Like Shaggy and Scooby Doo. You're just kind of like, hey, what's going on? You play and you go away. When really behind the
yeah,
scenes, you're like doing everything like a madman.
sure. Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's probably the most
exactly.
relaxed part of your day is playing guitar quietly on the stage.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How often are you guys practicing right now that keep going? Like, so are you like a downtime? Or are you still playing gigs? Like, I'm not following where you're at now.
Yeah, we're not going to be playing gigs for a minute because when you're playing shows, you're constantly rehearsing, for the shows. And we really want to focus in on, like I said, these final details on the album. So it's really important to us to just solely focus on the new music right now, especially since, new vocals and there's other changes going on. And we want it to be like really focused on this new stuff because once we have that out, that's going to be the main thing we're promoting is the new music. And so we're really excited about it. So yeah, I think it probably won't be at least for 3 or 4 months before we play again because I really want to just focus. We're playing usually like 3 or 4 times a week, and then writing and working even in between that as much as I can get people to do. But yeah, we're still active behind the scenes, but you probably won't see us playing out for a little while now.
Well, you
Yeah,
got some cool stuff. Like people go to your band camp, get your merch. You have a lot of real cool merch. There's some music out there already.
yeah,
Support you guys while you guys are in the studio. How does it work for
absolutely.
like nowadays with labels? Like, do they have like rules for you now? Like, we need you to have this out by the end of the year, or is it just more chill now on a smaller independent type of label?
Um, it's a mixed thing. I mean, it's a conversation where they ask what we want to do and what we're. Um, but also, once you commit to something, then you really have to be on schedule because they're putting you in now, like say a slot, and they have
Right.
20 other bands they're working with too. So once you've decided, okay, it's coming out this month or
Hmm.
whatever, then you really have to reach all the deadlines, and then it is really serious. But as far as leading up to that, it's kind of a conversation between the band and the label, of when it seems ideal and what's realistic and all that kind of stuff. And then, um, yeah,
I'd imagine that it's also a consideration like other a lot of bands want to go at once. It's going to be splitting the resources. If you pick a month or two when no
right.
one's releasing anything, you get the full force of everybody of their of their team. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Otherwise, it's
totally.
like four people instead of 20, or you know what I'm saying? Because everyone's just like five of their
Yeah.
albums coming out that month. So
Yeah, and it's tough to know, in advance exactly what's happening. Some of it you do, some of it you're just kind of guessing. But a lot of it is on the artist too. Like it's the label does help, but most of the work has to be done by the band too.
yeah,
Like, I think that's kind of the difference between some of the bands that get out there a little more and some that don't is just it's really up to the band and how much time they can put into it. And it's tough because most people, I mean, everybody's got to work a day job and do whatever
yeah.
else on top of doing this. Um, so it's tough, but you have to if you want to kind of get out there and get and reach people, it's like one of those things you got to get up earlier than everybody else and stay up
Yeah.
later and kind of get it done. So yeah,
It's hard, and like that's the thing. Like a lot of people, I'm always encouraging, like go to the shows, get the merch, because you guys are a lot of you guys are doing day jobs, and just to get
right,
and when you guys get to find a job that lets you take off and do these mini tours, because
right.
it got to be very a challenge as it is. To find three or four people
It
that are on the
is.
same page as you is a challenge. So and
It
then to
is.
create together is a
Yeah.
challenge. So once all that works out together and you guys actually end up
Yeah.
somewhere, the fans better
Right.
not be like, oh, they'll come by next time. No, you need to get out there because
Yeah,
there's a lot of
exactly.
things in play to get them there.
Yes. Yeah, you understand that. Yeah, exactly, man. That's true.
It's very important
It's
that
really a
people,
miracle.
yeah, it
Yeah.
really at some points, especially when you have
Yeah.
to do day jobs, because the energy,
Yeah.
like, yeah, as I get older, I'm like, I couldn't even see doing that now. Like a younger me could do it.
Sure.
I couldn't be in a band
Sure.
at this point. I'd be like, nah, I get the energy now, man. Too tiring. You're too tiring.
That's kind of another reason why I'm going so hard right now too, because I'm getting up there in age myself and I'm going for it while I can and I have it in me to do it. So
Well, you guys
yeah.
got the energy. And you're doing it, and you sound good. And I think the sky's the limit. You know what I mean? Especially because you're the style band that you can just keep going. Once you hit your audience, it's a dedicated audience. It's not a flavor of the week top 40 audience.
Sure. Right.
And that's the best thing. It might be
Totally.
more of a you may have had fight harder to get these fans over as you've done built it, but they're gonna be
Sure.
more loyal. You know,
True.
and that's why you've
I
had these
agree.
bands that you've toured for 20 years. Like
Yeah.
most bands that get any kind of established in the stoner doom, whatever. I hate labels, but in this
Sure.
genre,
Yeah.
usually can as long as they even if they implode, they come back. They still have a huge audience generally. It's usually
Totally.
as long as you're a good person or to the audience, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And that's part of what the motivation that I actually seeing that, being out on the road with these bands and playing these festivals and the community that's out there. And it's such a cool, positive, awesome community. And that's part of what really inspires us to do this, just to be a part of that. It's
I,
really
I
cool.
and I think with your wife singing now and you being a power trio, might give you a new edge too. Might stand
Yeah,
out a
I
little bit
think
more.
so. Yeah, I like it. I like the more raw sound personally too. I like big bands with two guitars and all that kind of stuff too, but I really love the rawness of just like a three piece. I think it's a really cool sound.
Well, the sound you guys sound different, and like I said, I really dig this new track with your wife singing. So I think it sounds a little bit different than a lot of the other bands, especially having a female singer.
Sure,
But the way she sings it, though, it's obviously it still fits, but it's just different. It's just a little bit different, you know.
sure.
Little
Yeah,
maybe I'd
she's
even
got a
say it was
unique
a
voice.
little bit more, yeah, but also like it's dark, but it's also melodic. You don't usually get
Sure.
both of them,
Yeah. Sure, sure.
so
Yeah. Yeah,
that's gonna be a good thing. But
totally.
anything coming up, or anything you want to have to tell your fans coming up to check out or
Uh,
support you or anything?
Well, like I said, we're kind of like going to be hibernating for the next little bit, but just to keep an eye out for when we're ready to come back out. We're really excited about the new material. I think that people that have been following us will dig it. Um, but yeah, I have nothing to promote like at this moment right now,
All right.
unfortunately. But
No,
yeah,
no,
I
it's an
appreciate.
introduction
Yeah,
because yeah, I
yeah,
want people to check you guys out. I came across
totally.
you, and
Yeah,
that way people now can go back and check out your other stuff. So by the time you come back out,
totally.
they'll be ready for your
Yeah.
new stuff. And I do want to end on one thing. Being a guitar guy, your what is your setup? What are your main
Uh,
gear?
so right now, my main guitar is a 1976 Gibson SG, which I've just absolutely fallen in love with.
I've seen it. It's
Um,
beautiful.
yeah, it's really great, and it weighs nothing, which is another huge reason of why I play it. This Les Paul behind me is one of my favorite guitars as well, but I can't play it live as much anymore because it weighs like 13 pounds or something like that, and it just crushes my back, you know.
Yeah,
Um, But that SG, and it's pretty much the SG going into a JCM 800 Marshall, like an 82 Marshall. That's like the bulk of the sound. And then overdrives, I've got a couple of just the Boss, like the
yeah.
yellow overdrives with the Keeley mod on it. That with the Marshall, I tried so many different fuzzes and overdrives, and it's just the thing. It cuts through. You can hear there's clarity and fuzz at the same time. Um, I'm playing my main fuzz is a ZVEX Mastertron fuzz. I've got MXR Phase 100 phaser for some psychedelic sounds that I'm using. Also the Roto Vibe pedal. The Dimebag wah is my main wah. I'm trying to think what else. And I've got a few different delays on there. I've got the carbon copy, which I use for more of a boost, really, not so much crazy delays, but it just kind of gives
Mhm.
like a lead boost when I'm doing solos. And then I've got that Boss Space Echo pedal,
Nice.
which I've just fallen in love with that thing and been getting kind of nuts with that on the new record. And then the Memory Man, Electro Harmonics Memory Man. So, and the reason I have three delays is because I have them set for like say different songs or different
Right.
moods so I don't have to go down and twiddle with knobs and stuff while I'm playing.
That's
Um,
that.
yeah, and then straight to the amp. Two other amps that I'm playing if you want to dig deeper, like for the album, I've got a 68 Fender Bassman. That's also one of my main amps that I love. And then I have a Supro Blackmagic, just 112. And that one I've been actually using more than any other one for recording. It sounds amazing. Even kind of just going straight into it. It's got a really
Really.
great sound. Yeah.
Well, you can always add
It's
stuff. If you
really
want to go more straight on, you want to be more clean when you record anyhow. You can always add stuff afterwards. You can't go back and take off.
totally. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The more dry you
Totally.
go in, then you can. I mean, there's so many modules and things you can add nowadays
Yeah,
without even owning
sure.
the actual things. Um,
Right.
what do you use it for in your? I love SGs, even though I don't have one. What are you using for
Yeah.
the? Is the stock?
So the pickups,
Yeah,
I switched out the bridge one. So it's got those Bill Lawrence tarbacks, the original pickups that were in there, and they did sound really good, but I was having some feedback issues with the bridge pickup, so I actually swapped it out for what comes in the newer stock SGs, I think it's like the 490 or 480 something. It's the Gibson pickup that comes in the
yeah,
new SGs. I really like the sound of it. It sounds great. So I put one of those in there, and then the rhythm pickup is the stock one from the 70s.
that's cool.
Yeah,
That's a good mix.
yeah. Yeah.
What gauge are you doing for strings?
I'm using 10s, 10 to
10.
46. Yep.
I
Yeah,
love
I've
to.
been using,
You don't expect it. So some people, you know what I'm saying, you hear like
yeah,
Eddie Van Halen and DC Top and those guys use like really, for example, the super skinny thing. You know what I mean? The thinnest ones you
sure,
can get and the heaviest
sure.
sound. So I'm always
Yeah,
curious. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's a thing. Like, I like the tension where it sits at 10. We also play in standard tuning. And it's like kind of a tension thing and a comfortability thing. That's kind of the reasons for me. Um, but yeah, I think that combination sounds pretty heavy and it feels comfortable to me.
Okay.
But,
Well, I think you have your
everybody's got their
sound pretty
thing.
much. You know, besides
Sure.
tweaking it,
Yeah.
I think you kind of lucky. I think you've kind of found a sound that works for you. you're not
Sure.
going to spend your whole career every album with a new sound. You know,
Sure. Right. Yeah. I'm always changing little things, but yeah, for the most part,
I'm just
I
saying
think most
overall,
of
you
it,
do have a good
mo
sound. You know,
most of it's in the hands too, I think, like, and the other
totally.
stuff does matter, but yeah, I spent a lot of time developing it. I've got that advantage of being older at least.
The
Um,
danger is tone chasing. Do
yeah,
too
yeah.
much.
Oh my God, man. Yes. I've done that, and you get caught up on reverb, and you're ordering all these fuzz pedals and trying different things, and you're not writing any music because you're just constantly trying different things, and it's
Right,
unproductive. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And so from one person to another, I enjoy your sound. I think you have a good sound.
Thank you
So
so much.
besides playing with it, as a to have fun with it,
Yeah,
it's a good sound to keep. You know,
thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I dig it. I do dig it. I dig your playing. I dig your music. So this is awesome. I want to thank you. Have people check you out, and we'll have you back again. In
Awesome. Thank
2023.
you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Look forward to it. Thank you so much.